For today is to move the scabious and the stocks around to the more exposed hardening off area. They've been here almost a week now, so we can move them. Some of them are almost ready for planting. So we'll move them round, and then that will give me some room to harden off some more things from inside the greenhouse. So round to the other hardening off place, just so you can see where it is. Here I've got the scabious, and it's going to be joining the melope. Looking really good, isn't it? Now if we get a lot of rain or it gets really cold, we can just drop them below the cold frames, but for the time being they can just sit on top and bask in this glorious spring sunshine. There we go, look at that, what a sight. So this area is more exposed to the wind, for example, but the light is still more gentle here because of the trees. The light is still more gentle than it would be in the open field. And then we're going to get quite a lot of rain later, so what we'll do is we'll just drop the trays underneath the cold frames just to prevent them from getting washed away by a torrential downpour. The outdoor ranunculus are doing well. They've slowed down growing a little bit now they're in the ground because they've got that extra space. So the plants are now busy making their foliage bigger equals bigger flowers. So you want them to slow down and bulk up. That's fantastic. So much to look forward to. So here is an update on the patio pot ranunculus, and you can see, look how much they've bushed up. They're really enjoying their new extra space. They're near the greenhouse at the moment, just in case I need to whip them under cover in case of frost, but we're almost there now. We're heading very close to the last frost date, so these can then move up onto the patio and we can have them flowering where we can see them. It's time now to pot on our carnations. Let me grab one of those for you. Look at those roots. They're gorgeous little plugs that are branching beautifully. So I'm bumping them up into a 15-cell tray where they can grow on until we're ready to plant them out in the garden. I thought this might be useful. As that happens sometimes, I have been distracted and I have not had the time to finish potting up my carnations, and Neil's promised me a takeaway tonight, so I'm very excited. So all I've done is the plugs that need to be potted up still, they've gone into a little half tray. You can see I haven't got too many of them. Little half tray, filled it up with compost. We'll give it a little water and then they'll be absolutely fine to finish off in the morning. But I did manage to get quite a few trays of the carnations done, so that's fine. Look at them. They've had a good drink, new compost, and they're just basking now in the late afternoon sunshine. Fantastic. These are the carnations from last night. Some of them needed separating, so I had some twins, but they've been done now, and you can see they're no worse the wear for their little overnight stay in a duvet of compost. What else can I show you? I'll just pan across the greenhouse so you can have a look. The zinnias are all on the top shelf. You can see it's a sea, absolute sea of China asters under there. Got millions of the Panicum frosted explosion coming. I think they might need a drink though, so we'll do that next. I don't think I've shown you the wrinkle cress for a while, have I? There you go, it's doing really well. I've got 2 trays of this gorgeous wrinkle cress. We're going to have fun with this. And other jobs that I'm getting on with in the greenhouse is topping up some of these trays. These are the phlox. They are doing so well, but can you see how much the compost has now dropped? Because we've been watering them and they've been in these trays for a while and they're not ready for planting yet. We want them to get a bit bigger. So I'm going to top these trays up with just some fresh compost. Here's the other tray of wrinkle cress I was just talking about, and underneath the cold frames out there, can you see them? All the trays, because of the weather, all the trays have now been dropped underneath, and that will keep the worst of the torrential downpours off of the seed trays. And then back to the phlox, here are some trays that I have already topped up with the compost. Don't they look smart? So the compost, as well as providing air in the soil, water and nutrients, its other job is to support the plants. So that's why I have topped them up. You can hear me now. My goodness me, that was torrential, wasn't it? I'm just having a bit of a tidy up in the polytunnel because I can see loads and loads of new buds coming through. So I thought I'll pick some flowers. Some of them are going over a bit, and give the plants back their strength. Hopefully that's it over. Everybody under the cold frames are absolutely fine. This is what's leaving us. What a black sky. Quick look. Look at that. Sitting pretty. Well, I've taken the opportunity to empty my truck. I'm going to get some tomato feed on the Ranunculus. They can have tomato feed now because they are actually flowering. And a cup of tea, I think. That looks so much better. Everything's been weeded, deadheaded, fed and watered. Look at all the buds coming through. I mean, I can't really take all the credit because I did get reined in. I got locked in by the weather, so I had no choice but to get on with it. So I didn't quite pick all the flowers. These are the pastel lemon. Aren't they lovely? I've still got plenty in the tunnel to enjoy and come and visit, and then that huge bucket which is conditioning now in the house. I'll probably play with those tomorrow now, but yeah, pleased with that. Still got plenty of anemones and plenty more coming with ridiculously long stems. This is like the flower version of the giant vegetable competition, isn't it? How tall are your anemones?